Everyone,
Morning.
we have it's a busy morning. We got a lot of stuff today, a lot of guests. So good morning to everybody. Plus, we have a big agenda, a couple of weeks worth of stuff going on here. So let's get to it. We will begin this morning's agenda with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, believe it or not, October is Stormwater Awareness, or this is Stormwater Awareness Week. So we have with us this morning from Franklin Soil and Water Conservation, Jennifer Fish, who's the director, and Kristen Hilson, marketing and public outreach coordinator. And we also have with us, as usual, every week, Franklin County Engineer Cornell Robertson. So if you guys want to come up and make yourselves comfortable at the microphone.
Here.
However you want to do it.
Okay.
There's three of you, right? So, you're just gonna,
Chris is out.
you make yourself comfortable however you want.
I'm here, Jennifer Fish, Director of Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District.
And Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer and Franklin County Drainage Engineer.
And we both work closely with Franklin County Commissioners on stormwater management throughout Franklin County and work with other communities on stormwater, road drainage, different topics like that. We did establish last year Stormwater Awareness Week, and that is going statewide and nationwide to some degree, and historically to really raise awareness for stormwater, because historically what we've done with stormwater is we've rushed it off of our land along with all the pollution into our waterways. This results in stream erosion, flooding, fish kills, algae blooms, increased costs to drinking water, just to name a few problems that it creates. Since the 1980s, local government programs and local federal and state programs and regulations have done a better job at managing stormwater and the pollution. However, with increasing population and extreme water events, we're still seeing a lot of problems and increasing problems, and we still need to do more. And we really need to do more to look for opportunities to soak in the stormwater and reuse the stormwater. Everyone can do something for stormwater. Everyone can plant a tree. Native plants, use native plants in your landscaping because those longer roots actually break up the soil and allow stormwater to soak in. You can use rain barrels and cisterns to reuse stormwater, much like the courthouse across the street that uses cisterns for their landscape. They use the water from the cisterns to water the landscaping. This week, in recognition of Stormwater Awareness Week, we have tree plantings and rain gardens, rehabs, and development throughout Franklin County. To learn more, you can Google Stormwater Awareness Week, or you can go to www.franklinswcd.org.
Very good, Jennifer. And if I could just add, try to inspire folks to avoid putting things in the gutters on catch basins such as grass clippings or leaves. It's very important that we prevent those items from getting into stormwater drainage. Some would say, like Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green. However, it's so important, and it's really not that hard to do. Thank you.
Being from an urban county, we get elected office. We don't, these aren't things we think about. These aren't things when we're running for county commissioner that we think about, poverty, we think about economic development, we think about all these other things, and we become county commissioners in Franklin County, and all of a sudden we, one day we wake up and realize we've got to deal with, ditch petitions and stormwater drainage, and we're talking to farmers about how do we clear out their drainage ditches, and how do we come up with money to figure these things out. We're going out and reviewing ditches and putting on our boots and hiking through with other county commissioners from around from around the region and trying to figure out with the legislature if we can do this stuff by drone because Kevin and I and Marilyn know about as much about this stuff as nothing. We don't this. We're not experts in this stuff, but we've learned a lot about this stuff over the years. Thanks to the two of you, we appreciate your help and your staff's help to educate us in these areas. And so this stuff has become something that we've had to learn about and grow more knowledgeable about over the years. And so we appreciate all that you guys have done to help us with that. As we've learned from some of the farmers in this community, spent some time with some of them, with you guys as well. But it's important that we know and then the community know that this is not this is important stuff, and you can't just sweep stuff into the gutter, sweep stuff into the drain. That this is and that we can't, like we did years ago, just move stormwater away and think that it's not going to impact downstream, because it does, and then it costs a lot more money.
Correct.
Very good.
Well said.
And thank you for your support with Stormwater Awareness Week.
Thank you.
Before we leave this topic, I just want to note that while as Mr. O'Grady pointed out, the commissioner, we have a lot of investments we make towards a lot of very important initiatives that impact the welfare of the residents of Franklin County. But this board each year budgets funds from the general fund to support stormwater efforts and the efforts of your partnership, county engineer, who also serves as our drainage engineer, towards meeting these requirements as it relates to runoff, illicit discharge, and our EPA responsibilities as it relates to water and sewer issues in general. So I just would like to commend the partnership that we have with the U engineer, Franklin County Soil and Water, as well as Franklin County Public Health and our other partners.
Yes. Second that. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Thank you, commissioners.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we have a resolution here for you guys. We'd like to come up and present it to you and have Jody get a photo.
Good to see you. It's great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right. October is also National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we have with us today the Cancer Support Community, Beverly Salt. Good morning, Bev. Who's the president and CEO, and Betsy Polis, who's a survivor. So if you guys would like to come up as well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you so much, and Dana, for inviting us to be here to represent and talk a moment, take a brief breath. As you know, that we are the only organization in the nation that has a research institute dedicated to the emotional side of health. That cancer doesn't impact, we don't just treat the cancer, but we want to treat the whole person. So our organization works tirelessly to do that. Breast Cancer Support Group, which we have a beautiful participant, and our program director, Angie Santangelo, are here. You all know, you hear me from the soapbox to talk about how we change lives every day. Everything we do is at no cost to lessen the financial burden. We want to educate, so I have Angie, who will introduce our participant to tell you the difference and talk about the meaning of Cancer Support Community.
Good morning, Commissioners. We at Cancer Support Community, we have several support groups, and one of our most popular support groups is our breast cancer support group, and we meet monthly, and I'm gonna cry now too. It's just a great group of people who have come together, mostly women, but occasionally a man joins us too, because breast cancer happens to men also. We have seen a lot of people who have come and who survive and thrive and live, and we have seen some who have not won this battle. But today we have with us Betsy Polis, and she this year has embarked on this journey with breast cancer. It's not been a friendly journey, but it is one that she has worked her way through with the help of the support group, and I just want her to be able to share her story with you today. This is Betsy.
Good morning. Well, Angie said, when I said, what am I doing? She said, just talk the way you would at our meetings. And each month, there's a group of 5, 7, 8, 10 women. And each and every time we go around and we tell our story, we introduce ourselves and tell our story. And I thought, well, this is going to get old, but it never gets old. There's always somebody new there. You get all kinds of information and support, and you ask questions. It's a very safe and gentle place to be. So this is my journey, and it's a journey that you really don't want to go on. But nonetheless, it was thrust upon me. So in January, I had my mammogram, and they said, I think we'd like you to come back and do an ultrasound. And I went, okay. And then they said, we'd like you to come back and we're going to do a biopsy. And I went, okay. And then they called me and said, well, you have cancer. I went, shit, okay. And they sent me to a doctor like 2 days later, and she said, we can do a lumpectomy. And I thought, okay, easy peasy, we'll cut that out and I'll be on my way. She wanted me to have an MRI. So I went and had that done. And went back to her, and she said, well, it's a little bit more than we thought, so we can still do the lumpectomy and try to get all the margins, and if we don't, we'll go back in and do it again. And I thought, interesting. So I called a friend of mine. I had just moved here from Toledo about 4 years ago, and a friend of mine moved as well. And as fate would have it, she is a patient advocate at the Stephanie Spielman Breast Center. So I called Karen and I said, yikes. She said, okay, I got this. 2 days later, she had me over at the James. I met with a surgeon and the reconstructive surgeon, and within, I was there for like 4 hours talking to everybody, and he showed me the MRI, and it was the freakiest looking thing I've ever seen. It kind of went shh, and he said, well, we can do a lumpectomy, but I don't think that's going to do it, and if we end up getting margins and all that, it's going to be like half your breast, so that's not a great plan. He wanted to do a mastectomy. I said, well, okay, and thought about it, and that night I called Karen and I said, okay, so I'm wondering about this. If I do one, can I do both? Have a bilateral mastectomy, because this is going to be just awful that I'm going to have to look at, two completely different things for the rest of my life, every morning, every night. And she said no. So I talked to the doctor, and he said, yes, we can do that. So surgery was scheduled for March 15th. And so I went in and had the bilateral mastectomy, went to my daughter's house to recover, because my son-in-law just so happens to be a nurse. So that was very helpful, and he helped with the drains, and I was just stupid through this whole, just comatose through this whole thing. After that, I thought, well, okay, so this is done. But it was not done. Then I had to go for chemotherapy, which was so not on my radar. It really threw me for a loop. So I did that. I was sort of lucky. I wore a cold cap, which they say if you lose like 50% of your hair, that's success. Well, I lost way more than 50% of my hair because I had really big curly hair. And now it's just stupid, but there's something there. But tomorrow I'm going for a haircut and getting it cut short and making sense of some of all this that's going on. And I will feel much better. I feel like I'm almost at the end of this. So anyway, after the chemo, then they tell me I have to do radiation, which also threw me for a loop, and I didn't want to do that either. But I have 2 more weeks of that. And then, to the best of my knowledge, I'm kind of done for a while, which is why I'm looking ahead. I'm looking forward. I want to fix this. I want to get out. I'm starting to wear makeup again. I'm feeling, I guess, a little more like myself. It's kind of hard to judge, but starting at the cancer support community several months ago was an eye-opener for me. I didn't think that I really needed support. I had a great family and friends and a lot of support, and I didn't feel that I was really at the bottom of the barrel. But I guess I sort of was. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. I'd ask Karen, my friend, I'd say, doctor would say, do you have any questions? And I'd say, I don't know, do we have any questions, Karen? And she'd go on. So I had somebody in charge of me. I can't even imagine how people go through something like this without an advocate, without somebody in their corner who understands what's going on, because she at least had some background in this. This is just a foreign language. It's like being plopped someplace and you have absolutely no idea what's going on. But I found that I was not alone in this, and just talking to the women there, I started to feel you can ask questions. There was you never felt out of it. It's a very gentle group, and a joy and a privilege to be there and to be part of all of this now. So these are some of my words. I can't even begin to get into the emotions with this because I don't know that I've come to terms with all of the emotions and what this entails. I kind of thought, okay, cancer, we'll get this out and we're done and I'm on my way. But no, that is not the way it works. This is just with you forever in all kinds of ways. So this is my life now, and certainly not what I bargained for, but here it is, and you just keep moving forward, and you do it with a lot of help from a lot of wonderful people. And I thank everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
There are pink bags in the back for anyone who has anyone impacted by cancer. Please pick one up and share it with someone. Thank you so much.
Before we present the
we have a
resolution.
resolution, so we want to come up and do that. So what Bev's talking about, these gift bags, they're in the back. You can grab one. If you know somebody that's impacted by cancer, share the bag with them. There's all kinds of things inside there to help to explain what the cancer support community is all about, and so all you have to do is share the bag with them.
And before we, I just wanted to say a few comments. I wanted to say, I don't know if you realize how brave you are and how much courage we all see in you. And just want to thank you because somebody's probably listening or watching, maybe in the audience, maybe at home, and they're inspired by your words. I know for myself, I was with a group of, the Columbus Marathon was this weekend. On Sunday, I had dinner with some of the marathon runners from China and from Brazil. And they talked about their experience in Central Ohio, and they said, this just is a friendly and loving place. We've been to a lot of places. We run marathons all over, and it's amazing. People smile at you. They say, she was talking about the marathon. And I shared with her, privately I shared with her, I said, this was great, but the best experience that there is in Central Ohio is running in the Race for the Cure. And when you run that, there is no more inspiring experience than when the trolley comes with the survivors and the folks who are the champions, and you start to run, it's just the most inspiring thing. So I just wanted to encourage you, say how you look absolutely amazing, and I mean that. And I just want to wish you the best of luck in everything you do. Okay? God bless you.
Thanks for coming today. All right. We have some other guests, but they will come up during the agenda. So let's move on with the agenda. We need an approval of the minutes from the May 16th, June 6th, and July 25th, 2019 briefing sessions and the May 28th, 2019 general session.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
The minutes have been adopted.
All right, to the probate court.
Resolution number 733-19, resolution authorizing a non-general fund supplemental appropriation for the support of the Probate Court Resource Center.
Shit. This was for, that was for, there was two of them for Stormwater.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brent Chappa, Finance Manager at Probate Court.
I'm Bob Morris. I'm the Administrative Magistrate at Probate Court.
This resolution is a non-general fund supplemental appropriation from the Probate Court Special Projects Fund for $18,000. This is to support the Probate Court Resource Center. And since April, the Resource Center has provided legal assistance for matters to individuals related to real estate transfers, small estates, limited guardianship questions, and general legal questions. Pending any questions, I ask for approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 733-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 733-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll pass that down that's for when it comes up. Thanks, guys. The drainage engineer. Comes up.
Resolution number 747-19, resolution approving a ditch maintenance petition for the villages at Jefferson Run, Phase 1, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning again, Commissioners. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Drainage Engineer and Franklin County Engineer.
Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering.
And also, Fritz, the champion of the 5K Franklin County Thrive 5K run. Give him a round of applause. First place.
Thank you.
I know you didn't want to say anything.
He
So
said he
I
wants
just
to
thought I
race
would.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
He said he wants to race you.
Oh no, I can't race him, man. He beat me good. So very nice run, sir.
It was an amazing event. I actually coordinated a 5K for like 7 or 8 years, and I was totally amazed at how much participation there was. I think the folks that were responsible for that should be commended. So thank you for everything that the staff did.
We're very proud of Fritz, but we're going to increase our participation, aren't we, Fritz, next year?
Shooting for 50%.
And that
Challenge
means that
accepted.
the engineer himself
Yes,
will
sir.
be out there.
We'll get him there.
I'm asking Fritz. I'm not. I'm just asking, is the engineer going to be? He's going to run this
I'll
time
get him
too.
there.
You're
I'll
going to
get
talk
him
to
there.
him. You're going to talk to him
Absolutely.
and have a conversation with him. Okay, I just wanted to see that.
Commissioners, this first resolution is in the northeast part of the county. It is in Jefferson Township. It's a subdivision known as the Villages at Jefferson Run Phase 1. And this particular resolution sets up the drainage maintenance petition process. The drainage infrastructure has been built for the subdivision and is ready to be included.
Sounds good. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 747-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 747-19 has been adopted.
All right, now the engineer. So we have a public hearing. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Resolution regarding the establishment, altering, and widening of London Groveport Road, State Route 317 at Lockbourne Road, County Road number 13, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
All right, so we need to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who'd like to speak on this public hearing? All right, seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 734-19, establishing, altering, and widening of London Groveport Road, State Route 317 at Lockbourne Road, County Road number 13, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, on September 17th, 2019, the board adopted a resolution declaring necessary the London Groveport Road 317 at Lockbourne Road Improvement Project, and on October 8th, 2019, the Board of Commissioners viewed said improvement. This is a collaborative project between Franklin County and ODOT, and this resolution authorizes the engineer to prepare plans as necessary for the construction of this project. It represents the second step in the legislative process. Any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 734-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 734-19 has been adopted.
All right, we have another public hearing. Can you please read the public hearing into the record, clerk?
Resolution regarding the establishment, altering, and widening of Cassidy Avenue from Plaza Properties Boulevard to Agler Road, Mifflin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
All right, so I'd like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who would like to speak on this public hearing? Seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing. Clerk, would you please read the resolution into the record?
Resolution number 735-19, establishing, altering, and widening of Cassidy Avenue from Plaza Properties Boulevard to Agler Road, Mifflin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineer to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, similar to the previous resolution, on September 17th, the board adopted a resolution declaring necessary the Cassidy Avenue from Plaza Properties Boulevard to Agler Road Improvement Project. And on October 8th, the board viewed the said improvement. It's a collaborative project between Franklin County and the City of Columbus. This resolution authorizes the engineer to prepare plans as necessary for the construction of the project, and this represents the second step in the legislative process. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 735-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 735-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 736-19, the Osborne Engineering Company, consulting engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer in performing preliminary engineering for the Trabue Road 10.77 over Scioto River project, Norwich Township, and Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $173,301.
Commissioners, as stated, this capital improvement project is in the northwest part of Franklin County on the line between Norwich Township and Franklin Township, along Trabue Road over Scioto River. This particular resolution is for a preliminary engineering design contract with Osborne. We utilize the qualifications-based selection process and recommend your approval.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 736-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 736-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 737-19, resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to enter into a contract modification with TEC Engineering Incorporated for on-call traffic engineering services, an increase of $25,000.
Commissioners, as stated, this is a contract modification with TEC Engineering. This group will help us with engineering services at traffic signals, and we'd like to add two, one at the intersection of Rome Hilliard Road and Beacon Hill, and then another intersection at Gantz and Dyer.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 736-19.
Second.
Excuse me, 737.
Oh, 737, I'm sorry.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 737-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 738-19, construction of a driving pad for the Franklin County Sheriff at the Franklin County Fairgrounds located at 4951 Northwest Parkway, Norwich Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Morning, Commissioners and staff. I'm Dave McManus. I'm the first responder liaison for the Franklin County Engineers Office. I served 27 years at the Sheriff's Office, retired. I've been at the Engineers Office 15 years now, and Engineer Robertson has created the position of first responder liaison, something we have done out of that title for many years in making sure our projects, whether planned or emergency, are notified to school bus drivers, first responders of any type. So it's a pleasure being here, and thank you. Commissioners, the next resolution seeks to declare necessary the improvement of the Franklin County Fairgrounds property located at 4951 Northwest Parkway in Hilliard. This resolution is the first step in the legislative process that will allow the county engineer to further investigate the construction of a driving pad intended for the Franklin County Sheriff's training purposes. This is a collaborative project between multiple Franklin County agencies as well as the Franklin County Fair Board. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 738-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 738-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 748-19, preliminary allocation and final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license, $5, funds for the City of Columbus in the amount of $2,300,000.
Commissioners, as stated, this is a $5 fund resolution for the City of Columbus to upgrade traffic signals, and it is an annual resolution. Would recommend your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 748-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 748-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 749-19, preliminary allocation and final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license fee, $5, funds for the City of Columbus in the amount of $1 million.
Commissioners, a very similar resolution, again for City of Columbus, $5 fund resolution, and this particular resolution is for signage and pavement markings throughout city.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 749-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 749-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 750-19, Arcadis U.S. Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer in preparing right-of-way and construction plans for London Groveport Road, State Route 317 at Lockbourne Road, County Road number 13, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $263,768.43.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Brad Foster from the Highway Design. Commissioners, the next resolution seeks approval to enter into a consultant service agreement with Arcadis U.S. Consultants to prepare right-of-way and construction plans for the London Groveport at 317 Lockbourne Road project. The project is located in the southeast Franklin County in Hamilton Township and proposes to construct a modern roundabout utilizing ODOT safety funds. Arcadis U.S. was selected via a qualifications-based selection process. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 750-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 750-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 751-19, report first of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Hayden Run Greenways Shared Use Path over Hayden Run Improvement, Washington Township and Norwich Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $5,734.
Commissioners, this resolution is for a shared use path project in the northwest part of Franklin County, a cooperative project with City of Hilliard, City of Columbus, and Franklin County. This is the first report for right-of-way acquisition, and the appraisal was based on fair market value. Includes one property.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 751-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 751-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 752-19, report, second, of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation and damages for a portion of the owners on the Reynoldsburg, New Albany Road at Clark State Road Improvement Project, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $1,616.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the northeast part of Franklin County in Jefferson Township at the intersection of Reynoldsburg, New Albany Road and Clark State Road, where we'll build a modern roundabout. This is the second report for right-of-way acquisition, and this report actually starts the appropriation process. However, we will continue to negotiate with the property owner and are hopeful to come to an agreement.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 752-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 752-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 753-19, approval of the Villages at Jefferson Run, Phase 1, Subdivision Plat, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, again, this subdivision is in the northeast part of Franklin County, Jefferson Township. It's the Villages at Jefferson Run, Phase 1. It's about 4 acres, includes 14 lots, and the final plat is ready for your review, approval, and signature. I have it here, and we'll leave it for your consideration. Would recommend approval.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 753-19.
Yes.
Moved and seconded voting.
Second. I already voted, I guess. I meant to second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 753-19 has been adopted.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cordo. The sheriff.
Resolution number 754-19, resolution authorizing contracts for canned, dry, frozen, and dairy food products for the Franklin County Sheriff Correctional Facilities in the amount of $1,300,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. This resolution authorizes a 6-month contract through April 23, 2020 to supply the jails with canned, dried, frozen, and dairy food items. All items have a firm and fixed price through the contract expiration and are part of the certified menu for the Corrections Division. The contracts were competitively bid through county purchasing, and the vendors were chosen based on price and delivery capabilities. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 754-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 754-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 755-19, resolution authorizing a settlement to Mrs. Tony Houston for a disputed vehicle damage claim due to an auto accident involving a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy in the amount of $1,000.
Commissioners, this resolution approves the settlement of a vehicle damage claim from an accident that occurred on September 13th of this year. It's been recommended by Fleet Management and the Prosecutor's Office, and approval of the resolution will provide payment to cover the insurance deductible of $1,000 to settle the claim. With no questions, I ask approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 755-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 755-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 756-19, resolution approving 4 subaward agreements with the Columbus Literacy Council, Impact Community Action, Lead the Way Learning Academy, and St. Stephen Community Services, Incorporated, doing business as St. Stephen's Community House, for the Franklin County Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program for in-school youth in the amount of $4,800,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services. In June 2019, the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio, in partnership with Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services, released 2 RFPs soliciting proposals in school and out of school CCMEP services, which is the comprehensive employment program. A total of $4,250,000 was made available in TANF CCMP funding and $550,000 in WIOA funds for a combined total of $4.8 million. 4 local providers were selected to support in-school youth services. Services will include a personal coach and advocate, case manager, individual assessment and opportunity plans, leadership development, tutoring, mentoring, career exploration, paid and unpaid internship work experiences, entrepreneurial training, occupational skills training, barrier removal, and supportive services, as well as follow-up for barriers. The recommended AMP providers will serve an estimate of 1,200 in-school youth. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 756-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 756-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 757-19, resolution approving 4 subaward agreements with the Academy for Urban Scholars, Columbus Literacy Council, Eckerd Youth Alternatives Incorporated, and Impact Community Action for the Franklin County Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program for out-of-school youth in the amount of $4,100,000.
Commissioners, similar to the previous resolution, for this one, it's a little different. A total of $2,450,000 was provided in TANF CCMP funding, and $650,000 was made available in WIOA fundings for a combined of $4.1 million. Similar, the same services will be provided. The recommended AMP providers will serve an estimated of 700 out-of-school youth. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 757-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 757-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 758-19, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Mid-Ohio Food Bank for the purchase and distribution of food to Franklin County soup kitchens, food pantries, and emergency shelters in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, this agreement would support the purchase and distribution of an estimated 300,000 meals for eligible low-income Franklin County families across the network of partners. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 758-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 758-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 759-19, resolution approving and certifying the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Plan, and authorizing the Director of the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services to enter into a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, and any amendments to the MOU with Franklin County Children's Services to implement the Kinship Caregiver Program.
Commissioners, the Ohio law requires that the counties adopt and amend their plans at least on a biannual basis. This plan has been reviewed by the local Family Services Planning Committee, appointed by the Board of Commissioners, and must be certified by you, the Commissioners, before it can be submitted to the state of Ohio. The 2021 PRC plan contains many of the same provisions as the current PRC plan that was approved and includes several changes within the plan. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 759-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 759-19 has been adopted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Joy. We didn't have any questions for you.
Oh, okay. Pending any, we didn't just adopt that one?
We did.
Okay, good, I'm done, all right?
Yeah. Normally you get 8 million
Trying to
questions.
blow through these.
Today we didn't have any for you.
You gotta sign it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Economic Development and Planning.
Thank you.
There's another one?
One of those days.
One of those days,
Yeah.
Joy. Too many things on the agenda. We briefed all this and briefed all this and briefed all this.
Resolution number 739-19, review of petition to annex plus or minus acres from Washington Township to the City of Dublin, case number ANX-20-19.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 11 acres from Washington Township to the City of Dublin. The area to be annexed includes property located at Shire Rings Road, that's south of Shire Rings, east of Cosgray, north of Rings Road, and west of Eiderman. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Jackson B. Reynolds III, who is in attendance if you have any questions, on behalf of the property owner MC Shire Rings LLC. 64.4% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Dublin, and the City of Dublin passed Resolution Number 51-19 and 52-19 on September 23, 2019, indicating that the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in Section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 739-19.
Unless Jack has anything he needs to tell us. He never does. All right. Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Yes. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 739-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 740-19, review of petition to annex .9 plus or minus acres from Truro Township to the City of Reynoldsburg, case number ANX-21-19.
Commissioners, this resolution is to consider another expedited Type 2 annexation petition of .9 acres. That's from Truro Township to the City of Reynoldsburg. The area to be annexed includes property located at 1676 Lancaster Avenue. That's east of Lancaster, south of John Street, west of Graham Road, and north of East Livingston Avenue. Petition was filed by owner Richard E. Barth on behalf of himself, Richard and Dorothy Barth. 100% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Reynoldsburg, and the city passed Resolution Number 99-19 on September 23, 2019, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in Section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 740-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Yes. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 740-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right, community partnerships.
Resolution number 741-19, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the Greater Columbus Arts Council in support of Franklin County artists, arts organizations, and cultural facilities.
All right, we'd like to recognize and welcome today President and CEO of the Greater Columbus Arts Council, Tom Katzenmeyer. And I also understand, and I know we met when we came in the door today, several of our impactful community arts partners from the King Arts Complex and Ballet Met and others.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce. Please give Commissioner Brown our best regards, and hopefully I'll text her after this is complete this morning. So thank you very much. I am actually really here to say thank you. I want to also recognize a couple people that are with me. Jamie Goldstein, who's VP of the Arts Council, in charge of events and communications and marketing, and Allison Barrett, who is our chief grant maker. She's in charge of grants and services, and I have a few other guests that I'll introduce in just a second. I also want to thank Ken Wilson, Dana McCrary, thank you very much, and Eric Janis, who I think is somewhere around here in the back on the table there. You guys know this, but your staff is incredible. Your senior staff is incredible. Had long meetings with them over the course of several years on this, and they've been very, very helpful. So thank you all. I wanted to say that in front of the commissioners. I really want to thank you for your decades of support in so many ways for the arts. The dedicated funds that you will approve today are key to the Arts and Culture Sustainability Plan that the Greater Columbus Arts Council has been working on for basically about 15 years. These county funds will further strengthen the arts and cultural sector in Central Ohio and will finally help us reach a comparable level of investment to our peer cities. We are grateful to you, the commissioners in Franklin County, for understanding that investing in the arts means investing in education, economic development, and the quality of life in our community. This year, these new funds will enable the Arts Council to reopen the Artists in the Community Grant Program. That's a program that's directed to artists, which was closed in May due to the depletion of funds. Again, any artist in Franklin County is eligible for that program. The Boost program that helps arts and cultural organizations with capacity building, and will provide the first round of truly stabilizing funds for current operating support grantees. We've arranged for two organizations who are significantly impacted by your support to come and share a little bit about how they invest these public dollars. one of which is a collaborative education project between the organizations called Saturday SOAR. So first we're going to start with Sue Porter, who is the Executive Director of Ballet Met, and then Demetres Neely and Javon Collins will come up from the King Arts Complex. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Sue Porter, Executive Director of Ballet Met. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. And we also want to thank GCAC for their leadership in helping this community support the arts. Ballet Met touches about 100,000 community members each year, and that's both from the stage in our studios and in our schools. And while there are many economic reasons, I think, for supporting the arts and what they contribute, I think the true reason is that they really reflect our humanity and help our kids become more creative and innovative. Some of the programs that Ballet Met has been able to engage in, even in just the last year, we've entered into a partnership with the Reynoldsburg School District. We believe this is a partnership of the first of its kind in the nation. We are providing movement, yoga, mindfulness classes K through 12. We hope that this becomes a national program, and it's hard to beat when a middle school student just last week told a news reporter that, the thing that lets me get through math class is my ballet class. Pretty exciting opportunity, I think, for the kids in that school district. We were also able to bring Dance on Dakota to the Franklinton community open-air block party featuring ballet and hip-hop dancing, and really had a great time showing that community more and just providing access, many of whom had never seen live dance on the stage. We're also able to provide more than 4,000 kids' ticks to our community. It goes to youth, social service, and faith-based organizations, brings kids into the Ohio Theater, sometimes for the first time, to see a live world-class performance. And something else that is just near and dear to my heart, when I first became an executive director in this community, there was somebody special who reached out to me, and that's Demetres Neely from the King Arts Complex. She's one of the first, and she said, hey, what can we do together? And we started talking and found out she had dance studios, and we had a program called SOAR on Saturdays. It's a completely free program for the participants, students, and it's to give them an experience of dance, all different types of dance, and to look for us for possible talent for scholarship opportunities. I think we know we were very successful when our pilot program had a waiting list. I'll let Demetres talk some more about that, but again, thank you so much for what you do for this community.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for all you do for the arts in Franklin County and Central Ohio. We are indeedly grateful to you. So, Demetres Neely from the King Arts Complex, where dreams come alive. We use that slogan because we see the kids every day. Sue pointed out to it earlier, just come alive when they are experiencing the arts. So we know the work we're doing is very important. And our mission is we connect community through the arts. Those words were specifically chosen, strategically chosen, because we know that's what we're doing, and we live that mission every day through a couple of ways. Most of what we do at the King Arts Complex is free to the community. So Sue talked about the Saturday SOAR classes, free to our kids in the community. We also do it through collaborations. We collaborated just in the last 2 weeks successfully with Saturday SOAR, Ballet Met, the opera. Just past Sunday, we had an opera performance at the King Arts Complex. A week ago, we collaborated with the symphony on Sanctuary Road. Thank you. On Sanctuary Road. We are currently collaborating with the Columbus Museum of Art with an exhibit that's in our museum. We are collaborating with Thurber House in the next in about 30 days. So we collaborate with a lot of organizations, and it's what makes this work. Free programming to the community, we can do that through all the collaborations. So we're very proud of that. And thanks to the Franklin County Commissioners, we have an award-winning after-school program. And our kids just did their very own first short film, which is being shopped for all kinds of awards. It is on our website, but it is a film around anti-bullying, and it is incredible. They did the scenery, they did the selection of the work, they wrote it, they did everything around creating a film. So we're very proud of that and very thankful to the Franklin County Commissioners for that. And the last thing I'll talk about before Javon comes up is we also have a program for seniors that we're very proud of, the First Tuesday Tea. Every Tuesday of every month, we have a free arts experience for seniors. They come from everywhere, standing room only at this point, so we can't have seniors standing, so we're going to find more seats. We need to buy more chairs. But we have arts experiences and lunch for our seniors every month, and it is the most popular thing that we've ever done. With that, I'd like to bring Javon Collins up to talk about a couple more of our popular free programming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I said thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Commissioners. Thank you for all you do and your support in our community. My name is Javon Collins. I'm a Performing Arts Director at the Martin Luther King Jr. Performing and Cultural Arts Complex. One of my favorite events that I get to lead each year is the Heritage Music Festival, in which we had a great summer this year, in which we partnered with the Greater Columbus Arts Council with live artists, and bringing that element to the concerts really, made it even more vibrant to see kids in our community to participate in the art of these great community artists, and to have that event, which garners anywhere from 2,500 to 10,000, even 15,000 people each Thursday. So we're very happy to have that in the historic Mamie Moore Park. And also our MLK Open House, in which we'll have this upcoming January 20th, 2020, in which that's a great community event, in which we invite all walks of art to come through our walls and just have some great performances. And also we continue to honor the life and legacy of Amina Robinson with our All Arts Day, in which we completed for our first time this year in 2019. So in 2020, we invite artists, groups, anyone to celebrate Amina by creating art on that day, which will be February 15th, 2020. So we want to thank you all for your support, and we look forward to continuing to create such a vibrant community we have here in the arts of Columbus, Ohio. Thank you all.
I guess I'll start off by just saying thank you to all of you for sharing perspective today. I know I can speak on behalf of my colleagues when I say how much we value the arts and how much each of your organizations mean to Central Ohio for the experience that they provide. But I have to be honest with you, this is about return on investments. For me, when I make decisions with regards to granting from Franklin County, I'm always thoughtful about the impact to our economy and the return on our investment. And quite frankly, the creative economy in Central Ohio is thriving and well. And that's where I make my decision, that it is a big part of what makes Central Ohio strong. And the return that we get from your work and the agencies that you represent through GCAC is really a tremendous value added to Central Ohio, not just from an entertainment and cultural standpoint, but from an economy standpoint. I just don't want to overlook that, because I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know enough about it to know that it is a significant portion of what makes Central Ohio a strong and vibrant economy. And so to me, this is a return on our investment. And I know there's always been talk about certain communities not getting exposure and access to the arts, and I think you all are working very hard and very diligently at making sure that everyone has access to the great works and opportunities that you provide, and I value and appreciate that, and that's also a part of my thought process when supporting grants. So thank you so much for what you represent, and I'm very enthusiastically supportive of this grant and what you do.
Commissioner Boyce is absolutely correct. It's an economic development decision. There's no question about it. It's always been, from my perspective, it's always been first and foremost an economic development decision. Well, I shouldn't necessarily say first and foremost. I mean, my wife spent 7 years on your board, and so first and foremost, if Tom knows, Jamie knows, if I don't vote for this, then I have to deal with that at home. I'm also on the National Association of Counties Arts and Culture Commission, and so, which I joined because of pressure from my wife. I'm kidding. I joined for all the right reasons, but this is something that we live at home. This is something that we live with our 4 children. This is something that we believe in. This is always something that our kids, and in the Hilliard School District, it's something that you have a choice when you get to you get to the 6th grade in Hilliard, you have to choose between whether you want to play an instrument, or whether you want to be in the choir, or whether you want to, they make the kids get to make a choice, and the choice is arts or arts. Which direction do you want to head in? And you at least have to have that kind of a background for a little bit of time, and you have to be exposed to that. And all of our kids, my oldest daughter did the choir all the way through her senior year in high school, and the only reason she didn't do the choir in college is because she knew that they were going to make her sing solo, and she just couldn't handle the idea of standing on stage and singing solo in college, and so she decided not to continue that. But my son is in the marching band and plays bass 5, and he's trying to decide whether that's something he wants to do in college. My youngest daughter decided she wanted to play percussion because she's been hearing it around the house for so long now that she's continuing that. But it's not just music. It's they're all creative. They all enjoy all types of arts because it's something that we try to instill in them, and so we try to then here at the office, through what we do here, try to encourage that through the rest of what we do here, so that other kids and other families in this community will have the same exposure. And I know that my wife pushes, she used to push Mayor Coleman, now she pushes Mayor Ginther to do the same type of thing. And she has been, tremendously sad since, GCAC kicked her off the board, no, they didn't kick her off, but you can only serve for so long on the board. But since her time on the board has expired, she's been very sad, and she's trying to fill it in other ways. So, but it's this is kind of a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for Marilyn, Commissioner Brown. I'm sorry, I know it's a no-brainer for both of my colleagues, and it is a fabric of this community, and it is when Don Brown, who's in the audience, was our county administrator, it was part of what we do. It is just with Administrator Wilson. It is just it's just what we try to find and figure out in our budgets, and so we just know that an investment in the arts is something that we've when you first arrived, Tom, we said we will figure out what Franklin County's investment will be. We don't, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to figure out in our budget, but we will figure out what Franklin County's investment will be. So.
All right, if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 741-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 741-19 has been adopted.
Can I say one more thing, by the way? We make a big deal here 3 times a year to celebrate our athletes. We bring them in whenever we have, and we'll do it again here before too long with our fall state champions. We'll bring them in, then we'll bring them in the wintertime, we'll bring them in the spring. But we also every year make sure that we honor our scholars and our artists because we think it's important to make sure that the kids that are doing really well scholastically and the kids that are also deemed to be very successful artists by their school districts, that we recognize them as well. And so we make a big to-do about kids that are the ones that are very successful artists in that their school district recognize them as well. And so we don't just want to. Central Ohio is big on recognizing our kids that are athletically gifted, but we here at Franklin County want to also make sure that we recognize honor our kids that are scholastically and artistically gifted as well. So, and I know you guys help us with that, so thank you. Sorry.
Resolution number 742-19, resolution authorizing a catalyst grant to the Columbus Diaper Bank to provide assistance to low-income families in need of diapers in the amount of $50,000.
Commissioners, this resolution will allow us to work in partnership with the Columbus Diaper Bank to simply reach out to families in need who are struggling to bear the financial burden of providing diapers for their infants and for their toddlers. So it really is just a joyful program. I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't want a child to have access to to clean diapers. Everybody who's a parent knows that it's not optional. It's essential. It's for the health and well-being of a developing child. And I'm so excited this morning to have Jimmy Mel here from Columbus Diaper Bank to just tell us a little bit about how this funding will impact their organization.
Good morning. So what we do is we work with different programs and organizations here in Columbus. Instead of working with individuals, we found it easier to work with the programs who are already working with the individuals who are in need. Some of the programs that we work with are Academy for Urban Scholars, Celebrate One, events that they have. We provide the diapers for them. Mary Haven Stable Cradle, Children's Hospital, Hospice, and Palliative Care, and many more that I can't think of right now because I'm super nervous. But yeah, so diapers, a lot of people don't realize that they're considered a hygiene item, and therefore it's not covered under any kind of federal or government program. Therefore, these families are having to go out and get these diapers. And unfortunately, a lot of these places that families go to get these diapers don't have the resources to go to a Sam's Club or a Costco. They're just being able to go to whatever is at the corner of their street, and they're paying anywhere between 30 to 45 cents per diaper, and that's a lot. What we are teamed up with the National Diaper Bank. And we're able to get our diapers at a 13 cents per diaper while working with different programs. And so we're able to really, get diapers at a cheap rate and provide them to, like I said, different programs. And we also get donations throughout the community as well. Last year, people donated 70,000 diapers to us. So, yeah, so.
Great.
As a father of 4 kids, and I know Kevin had 2, and everybody's, everybody's parent. We all have kids. A couple things. One is when I was a parent, when my kids were small, the 2 most expensive things were diapers and formula. The two most essential things in raising young kids. The most expensive things that you have to pay for are diapers and formula. But the issue with the diapers was, there's a big disparity in the quality of the diapers. So when you would buy the cheap diapers, well, they were the cheap diapers, and quality of those cheap diapers wasn't great. So if you wanted a halfway decent diaper, you were paying premium price for the good diapers, and so it's terrible. This is fantastic stuff. I'm glad you guys are
Through
doing
our
it.
partnership, we get discounted rates through Huggies and other big name programs out
Huggies
there.
are good diapers. I remember Huggies being good diapers. My youngest one's going to be 13 soon, but I remember Huggies being good diapers. Huggies and Loves, yeah.
Okay.
I have nothing to add to that.
What, you didn't change diapers there, Mr.?
Oh, I changed plenty of diapers, trust me. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 742-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady.
Absolutely, yes.
Resolution number 742-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 760-19, resolution authorizing a catalyst grant to Alvis Incorporated to provide parenting education, drug prevention activities, and family counseling to Franklin County families in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, this resolution will allow us to work with Alvis Incorporated to expand their family and children's program, which will allow them to serve an additional 40 women and their children, women who are often returning to the community after a period of incarceration, in addition to working with Amethyst to be able to include women who are in recovery in the parenting and all of the other wonderful services that they have. This morning we are very thrilled to have with us Phil Nunez, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Alvis, and he'll tell us a little bit about that program.
Good morning, and thank you. And thank you very much, Commissioner O'Grady and Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner Brown. We believe that this is an extremely great investment and really truly assisting moving to work with our women who oftentimes are in our Amethyst program rejoining with their children. And many of our women in Amethyst have been impacted by human trafficking. We also work with a lot of our women returning home from institutions or diverted to our programs in lieu of incarceration. And working with their children is an extremely important, vital aspect. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of grant funding opportunities to really work with moms with their children. So this Catalyst grant, we are very much appreciative of. It gives us an opportunity to actually expand our program, where we've been allowed to now add 2 counselors to really truly add a therapeutic and much more in-depth counseling and much more in-depth parenting skill learning for the women. Many of our women in Amethyst, their children are joining them in residency while they're going through the program. And this program really does allow us to truly bring those moms with their children together. I'm sure you all know that there's about 2.7 million children of incarcerated parents in this country today. And at any given time, there's about 5 million children who have had a parent incarcerated. And there's really not a lot of investment opportunity to work with these children who have been impacted equally by the trauma associated with their moms. So this Catalyst grant will go, again, very far to assisting in that endeavor, and we are very appreciative of your investment, and we look forward to sharing our positive outcomes with you soon.
Outstanding. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 760-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great stuff, thank you.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 760-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 761-19. Resolution authorizing a Catalyst grant to Central Community House to provide crisis mitigation services in cooperation with the Columbus Federation of Settlement Houses in the amount of $250,000.
Commissioners, this Catalyst grant is really an exciting opportunity to work with all of the settlement houses in Central Ohio and working on the topic of crisis mitigation. There isn't a lot of funding for crisis mitigation, but it really allows the settlement houses to look outside of the box and finding solutions for clients who come through their doors every day. I shared at briefing the story of a person who came in, and what their direct request was, they wanted food for their family. And their case manager was able to really conduct an insightful interview, which revealed that the real issue was they had a car that was in disrepair and they couldn't get to work. So this Catalyst funding for crisis mitigation will allow all of the settlement houses to work together to fill in those gaps, to help people get the services that they need where there may not be existing programming right now. So pending any questions, I would request the approval of this resolution.
This is outstanding. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 761-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 761-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 743-19. Resolution authorizing a contract with Restorative Financial Services, LLC, for the purchase of financial literacy education under the Justice Assistance Grant, JAG, and Justice and Mental Health Collaboration, JMHC, grant programs in the amount of $30,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael Daniels, Director of Justice Policy and Programs. Our first resolution this morning will allow us to continue financial literacy classes in a variety of different settings and with a variety of different partners that we have. It's not a new program, but it is using up some expiring grant funding. We want to make sure and get that out there and be able to make it stretch as far as possible. So pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 743-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 743-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 762-19. Resolution authorizing a contract modification with Valerie Coleman for peer support services through fiscal year 2018 Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration Medically Assisted Treatment Prescription Drug and Opioid Addiction Grant Program in the amount of $28,000.
And Commissioners, this is a contract modification to an existing contract with Ms. Coleman. We have a $20,000 contract with her. We want to modify that to $28,000 to continue providing peer support services. Pending any questions, we'd recommend your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 762-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 762-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 763-19. Resolution authorizing a contract with Stonewall Columbus for the provision of dialectical behavior therapy to LGBTQIA+ residents who are experiencing personal trauma, substance abuse, eating disorders, behavioral addictions, impulsive, reckless, or risky personal behaviors, extreme uncontrollable emotions, and unstable or unhealthy relationships in the amount of $45,375.
Commissioners, we think the title of this is pretty descriptive. We're providing dialectical behavioral therapy through Stonewall Columbus, particularly targeting the LGBTQ+ population. This type of therapy specifically hones in on things like behavioral addictions, eating disorders, risky sexual behavior, abusive relationships that can prevent folks from becoming victims of crime, and also that can prevent folks from committing crimes and ending up in the carceral system. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 763-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 763-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 764-19. Resolution authorizing a contract with Anchored to Hope, LLC for the provision of a technology platform designed specifically for individuals in the criminal justice system with substance abuse disorders in the amount of $49,500.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes a contract with Anchored to Hope, LLC, which is a new venture owned and operated by Melinda Swan, who you'll remember from the Collective Genius, for provision of a technology platform that will provide searchable directories for locating and securing basic needs, 24/7 one-button access to crisis counseling, daily interactions, and interactive problem-solving designed to advance and reinforce constructive change and critical thinking, and uniquely, guided meditation using 3D virtual reality that's been designed specifically to help folks remain in long-term recovery. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
I'm very familiar with it and very supportive. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 764-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce? Yes. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 764-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 765-19. Resolution authorizing two contracts with Brave Technology Co-op for Brave Button safety programs and the Brave Be Safe application through the fiscal year 2020 Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison TCAP grant program in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes two contracts with Brave Technology Corporation, one for $40,000 for the button safety system and one for $60,000 for the Be Safe technology application. These will be used in collaboration with existing services to provide harm reduction, overdose death reduction, vulnerability reduction, and incarceration reduction technologies. We have with us this morning Una Krieg, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Brave, to take you through some of the details.
Morning, Commissioners, and everyone in Ohio. Nice to see it later. So in Vancouver, we do land acknowledgement for the First Nations people. So I brought this practice here. I would like to acknowledge that now that we have opened our business here in Franklin County, that we see the Shawnee and Delaware First Peoples here, and that Brave Technology is a guest on this land that has helped people since time immemorial. Brave Solutions have one objective: to stop overdose deaths. Overdose is the leading cause of accidental death in North America, which we know accidents are preventable, overdoses are reversible, and isolation is the key feature of most overdose fatalities. A simplified answer to isolation is connecting and connection. Technology can and will connect people in isolation to a caring and responsive community, a community which I have found here since I came last year in response to a tech challenge. Brave technologies can reduce critical response time, identify response locations, increase connection for people in isolation, and link people to comprehensive services already available in Ohio. So I'm going to talk very quickly about two tech solutions today, the Brave Buttons and the Be Safe app. Brave Buttons are bottle cap sized, wireless, internet-enabled smart buttons that can be used to request supervision or support in response to opioid overdose or other emergency situations. The buttons are designed primarily for multi-unit supportive housing facilities and can be adjusted for scatter sites across other housing projects. Similarly, the Be Safe app is developed in collaboration with community members with extensive lived experience as well as the key stakeholders. Be Safe is an app that helps people most at risk of violence, isolation, overdose, receive remote support when in high-risk situations. Be Safe is designed for use in isolated locations or circumstances. The app offers unaccompanied at-risk participants a network of resources not often available in isolated settings. People requesting support through the app remain anonymous, and their locations are revealed when it's necessary to keep them safe. When an overdose or safety issue is identified, emergency services are notified, ensuring timely and appropriate responses. We have some primary purposes for these pilots: to increase safety for participants, to prevent overdose death, to increase safety and emergency response time, to identify emergency location, to increase positive encounters between participants and service providers, to decrease hospitalizations from episodes of violence or overdose, to increase referrals to primary care and treatment, to increase community involvement, resiliency, and self-sufficiency, to decrease 911 calls to the police departments, to reduce recidivism. There are other purposes at play as well. We want to increase the self-efficacy of people to reach out to a community that wants to help them. We want to see a decrease in the secondary traumas related to deaths and violence, namely the families and loved ones of those who have lost those along the way. To decrease stress-related sick time and emergency service provider burnout. It's a big issue. We have measurable objectives. Brave technology is being utilized in collaboration with key stakeholders who provide this much needed spectrum of services. We've seen firsthand that by increasing technological solutions which provide opportunity for and an increased availability of violence intervention and overdose reversal support for at-risk individuals, we will be able to measure a decrease in the overall mortality rate, hospitalizations, and recidivism for participants. And conversely, we'll see an increase in connections to healthcare providers, medical treatment, and mental health and substance use supports.
Pending any questions, Commissioners, we'd ask for your approval. We're very excited. We think this is we're the first folks in the nation, in the United States, to use this technology. We're very excited about bringing it to Franklin County, where we have never been afraid to use new forms of technology and new forms of intervention to continue to save people's lives and continue to preserve families. And this is just another extension of that.
If you've got a write-up, were you reading your own written comments, or were you reading from something else? Because I'd like to just read through that.
I was reading from my comments so that I didn't
Yeah, share
stray.
those with, if you could, just share a copy of those with our office. I'd love to just kind of read that.
Of course.
Thank you so much. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 765-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 765-19 has been adopted.
Commissioners, thank you for your commitment and your courage with these projects. We appreciate it.
Human Resources.
Resolution number 744-19, resolution authorizing a contract with the American Red Cross to allow certified trainers in the Department of Human Resources Risk Management to conduct training courses for Franklin County personnel in the amount of $15,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Today for your consideration is a contract to allow us to do CPR and AED training for any Franklin County employee who wants to have the training. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, Move for adoption of, 744-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 744-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 766-19, resolution authorizing the county administrator to enter into contracts to provide necessary OHSA PERRP safety equipment, training, and vaccinations to protect county employees from workplace hazards.
Commissioners, the risk management area of human resources is responsible to provide and make sure that we're following all the OSHA and PERP safety requirements. This resolution will allow the county administrator to sign agreements for us so that we can get the proper training and safety equipment that we need for our employees. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 766-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 766-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 745-19, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,395,863.
For anybody who happens to be noticing that we're jumping all over in terms of the numbers, that's not an error, or it's not that Dean doesn't know what he's talking about. It's that we're combining two different agendas here from the last couple of weeks, and so we're following along very, very carefully, and Dean actually knows exactly what he's doing, is what that means. So, good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balinier, Director of Purchasing. Excuse me. Our first resolution seeks approval of 116 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. The resolution includes 27 eligible POs totaling approximately $229,000. These are POs for goods and services that have a higher likelihood of participation by small and emerging business enterprises. Of these POs, 15 were awarded to SEBEs, totaling $134,207.05, which is 55% of the eligible PO volume and 58% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I recommend your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 745-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 745-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 767-19, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,719,640.74.
This next resolution seeks approval of 114 purchase orders, again for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. This resolution includes 40 eligible POs totaling approximately $249,000. Of these POs, 12 were awarded to SEBEs totaling $58,190.41, which is 30% of the eligible PO volume and 23% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 767-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 767-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 746-19, resolution authorizing the purchase of additional new voting equipment with election systems and software in the amount of $2,364,360.
Director Ed Leonard for the Board of Elections. This resolution authorizes a second phase of 694 voting machines to be purchased. This purchase was contemplated when the county purchased the initial batch of voting equipment in January of 2019 with the $10.3 million that we received from the state of Ohio. The funds that are contemplated to cover the cost of this purchase come from the funds that the county recoups each year, each of these odd year elections that we recoup from the jurisdictions to cover the cost of administering the election in these odd years. And the equipment cost in this agreement is just shy of the $2 million that we had contemplated, and then the balance of the contract is for firmware, licensing, for cost for the out years. These 694 voting machines being purchased will bring the total number of touchscreen marking devices to 3,272 machines. And again, they are similar to the old equipment in that they're touchscreen, but they generate a paper ballot that the voter then has an opportunity to review for accuracy, and then insert them into the ballot counting scanner. These 694 machines will be delivered in December of 2019, just after the certification of this year's general election. And then the acceptance testing of the equipment will take place during December. And then we anticipate paying for the devices once acceptance testing is completed. And that would likely be paid in January of 2020. And then these additional machines would be used for the first time in the 2020 primary election. Before I take any questions the commissioners might have, I just wanted to extend my thanks to Megan Ballinier of the Purchasing Department and to Harold Anderson with the County Prosecutor's Office for their assistance in helping move this contract modification through the process. So with that, pending any questions, I'd respectfully request approval of the resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 746-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Yes. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 746-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 768-19, a resolution to approve the issuance of hotel project revenue bonds and hotel lease appropriation bonds by the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority and authorize the execution and delivery of a lease agreement and sublease agreement with such authority in the city of Columbus, Ohio, to secure such hotel lease appropriation bonds and other matters relating to the issuance of such bonds and the improvements to be financed thereby.
We have with us this morning Mr. Brown from the Convention Facilities Authority.
Good morning, Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner O'Grady. I'm Don Brown. I'm the Executive Director of the Convention Facilities Authority.
And I'm Mark Miller with Baker Tilly. Excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice, but I'll hang in there.
Welcome.
And Baker Tilly is serving as the Convention Authority's municipal advisor in connection with the issuance of the bonds. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Wilson, Mr. Telerik for their fine collaboration over the last several months on this project. Commissioner, we want to thank you for your steady support for this project. We've organized, we've built a project team, we've planned, and we've completed the design work over the last 3 years, excuse me, and now we're ready to build. Excavation is set, will begin this week. We expect to then proceed with the foundation to grade construction and then start the above grade construction next spring. This project will employ over 800 construction workers over the next 30 months. We expect to open the second tower addition of the hotel in January of 22. At that time, we expect to employ over 450 or create and over 450 new jobs, permanent jobs, working in then in the tower addition. The purpose of the expanding the convention hotel is to create a 1,000-room hotel. That will be the largest hotel in the state of Ohio, and it will allow us to continue to grow the $7 billion visitor spending business that is drawn to our community. With that, I'd ask Mr. Miller to tell you how the schedule for the bond sale. This resolution would authorize the CFA, the Convention Facilities Authority, to issue bonds. We've kept that pledge for the last 35 years. Anytime the Convention Authority issues bonds, we seek the county's consent to do that and the city's consent to do that because of the support, the backstop support that you provide to our projects. The resolution also authorizes a lease-sublease arrangement, which is the same sort of agreement that we've used to secure the lease appropriation bonds which will be backed in equal amounts by the city and county. We're set to go with the financing. We couldn't have gotten here without the county's steady support, and commissioners, we appreciate that.
As Don mentioned, we're ready for construction, but the last part before construction is getting the money in. So that's where we are at this point. Over the last couple months, we spent a lot of time with the rating agencies trying to identify what is the minimum amount of coverage that would be required in order to minimize that side of the financing that would be supported by the lease appropriation bonds. You recall from our prior meetings that there was two sides to this. One would be that side that's self-supported by hotel revenues, and the other side that's supported by the lease appropriation of the city and the county. The methodology as we price the bonds will be to maximize that portion of debt that can be supported by the hotel revenues, thereby minimizing that portion that would require city and county lease appropriation. So now we're at the point where we've identified that structure. We have rating agency presentations on the lease appropriation bonds with both Moody's and S&P scheduled for this Thursday, of which the county and city will also participate in those presentations. Our schedule is to price the bonds on November the 14th, and then close the transaction on December the 4th. We feel as though this is still a good market. Rates have gone up just a little bit, but they're still at historically low levels. So we're excited about this opportunity and appreciative of the support, and be glad to answer any questions that anyone may have.
Thanks for the presentation, both Don and Mark. I think you've done a very good job putting this transaction together. But I want to make sure that the public understands, because this is a complex transaction, and I want to make sure the public understands the county's obligation in it and how that works. And you kind of went through it pretty fast, and so just if you could explain in very simplistic terms how the lease appropriations versus the revenue generated from the hotel project itself, from the hotel itself, how that works and how our obligation is based on how the hotel performs and the long-term projections for that. Because what I want to make sure the public understands is the sort of secondary role that we play in how the debt on the hotel will be serviced over the course of the debt schedule.
I'll start out, Mark. The Commissioner, it's an excellent question. Both the revenue bonds and the lease appropriation bonds will be paid by the hotel from hotel revenues. The first 500-room hotel, the existing hotel, has outperformed expectations over the last 8 years of operation. It pays for itself. It is paid for its operation, and it is paid for all of the debt service entirely. The expansion with the second tower addition will operate in the same way. The debt service, as well as the cost of operating and maintaining the hotel, will be paid from hotel revenues. The purpose of the backstop guarantee from the county and city on part of the debt issue is to enhance or raise the quality of to above investment grade to perhaps AA rating or better. And by obtaining as high a rating as possible on a portion of the issue, it allows us to obtain the lowest possible rate of interest on the financing itself. So it makes the project more affordable for the community. It in no way will require a payout of county taxpayer dollars, because the hotel will pay for itself using hotel revenues.
Right, so the simple way to say that is the county is essentially like a co-signer. And in co-signing, like us parents do on things for...
You're a nice parent.
Yeah. You know that it enhances essentially the interest rate or the credit standing of whatever you're signing for. And I just wanted to state that because I think it's very important for the public to understand, because they'll say, oh, you're building a hotel, the county's building a hotel, and you're paying for this hotel. And so I want to make sure they understand that This particular hotel transaction has performed very well historically. You are projecting it to perform very well in the future, and thus we don't have any expectation to really for it to be a burden on Franklin County itself if all goes as planned, essentially.
That's exactly right. And we appreciate the county and the city's support by co-signing on our project loans and financings.
Everybody's going to use that.
Not
word,
only for a
co-sign.
hotel, but for a convention center renovations, expansions, and improvements.
Absolutely.
And those projects, too, have paid for themselves with convention center revenues.
Yep.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady. That's an excellent analogy of a parental cosigner relationship, but I like to say that this particular transaction is even safer than that car loan that we may sign on for one of our children, because there are several layers that would come into play before the county tax dollar would be at risk.
Thanks for adding that, Administrator Wilson, because I really just want to make sure the public, and I know the dispatch is here, I want to make sure the public really understands the secondary role that we play, that our finances are set up in this structure to play. And I think that's just so important when we talk about the story. Yes, we're a catalyst to making the hotel happen because, our credit is an important part of that along with the city, but it's important to know that this has been structured in a very professional way, and I think it as you just described, the chances are as limited as they can be, I think, for us to have to use some kind of additional obligation from the county. So.
Mr. Wilson's exactly right. The county, the Convention Facilities Authority will maintain several layers of cash reserves to buffer the city and county's protection, credit co-signing, in the event that current year revenues ebb and flow because of economic cycles. And so we will maintain cash reserves to supplement current year income from the hotel to make sure that the project pays for itself.
And I think it's also important, getting away from the transaction itself a little bit, I want to make sure the public understands, if you've been in Central Ohio for the last 10 or 15 years, you've experienced the growth that we're having in Central Ohio, no matter where you live or what part of town you live in. And this is a part of that equation. And we're so the market is there, is what we're saying. I presume if you could just talk about that just briefly, the market is there that suggests this hotel will be so the need is there, and that's why we're creating this second addition to the hotel. And so there's a lot of confidence in, as our experience this growth, this is part of the system to accommodate that growth in terms of conventions and visitors and festivals and all the kinds of things that bring people to Columbus to stay and engage with us one way or another overnight.
The need is there, and we hope to capture that need and continue to grow the amount of visitor spending that adds to our Central Ohio economy.
Excellent.
So I have, the questions have gone towards financing. I have a question as it relates to construction. We have, we've been doing a lot of construction around here over the last number of years, but recently with the construction projects that we are undertaking, we've noticed, and I'm wondering if you guys, I know you're at the beginning of the construction process here, haven't even broken ground yet, but with the other projects that you've undertaken, namely the parking garage, and as you're preparing for this, are you guys concerned about, or are you concerned, Don, about the cost of commodities, namely steel, as it relates to the tariffs? I know that it's been killing us, and as well as the cost of labor in this particular market because of the growth, because of everything that's going on. I don't know if, I think our friend Mr. Hager just left, but it's such a booming market right now. The cost of labor's certainly been killing us, and I think Chris Long, she's still in the room, But the cost of labor's been killing us, and the cost of commodities have been killing us because the price of steel's going through the roof based on the tariffs and everything else. I mean, are these things you guys are looking at right now, and are they, concerning as it relates to the cost of the project that's ahead of you?
It is. It is a concern, remains a concern until the construction manager awards all of the subcontracts to the project for the various trades. We won't be sure that we've adequately provided a large enough contingency to cover the cost of development. But we think we have. We expect to have a guaranteed maximum price delivered to us around shortly after the 1st of November by the construction management team, Turner and Smoot. And it is a white-hot market right now for labor. There's a lot of construction in Central Ohio, so we're fighting the headwinds there. We're also fighting the increased costs of steel and glass and aluminum and other commodities, all of which go into a high-rise building like this. But we think we've got this project priced properly. We have aspirational goals of 18% or better in terms of inclusion of disadvantaged businesses. We've successfully had diversity inclusion participation rates of anywhere between 18% and 30% in the last 7 years for the various projects, whether they're parking garages or convention center expansion renovation or the existing hotel construction. So the 18% then represents the low end of the range that we've have been able to actually achieve on our prior projects. I wanted to mention that as well. So I think we're confident that it's going to price out within our budget, and we'll know right after the 1st of November when we receive the guarantee maximum price contract amendment from the construction manager, Turner and Smith.
And just to add, that's why we scheduled the pricing when we did, so we would have that GMP in hand and then know how many bonds to issue and how much proceeds to generate.
Okay.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 768-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 768-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 769-19.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $8,510,000 of bonds for the purpose of providing funds to refund the outstanding various purpose limited tax recovery zone economic development bonds, federal taxable direct payment, Series 2010B of the county, and authorizing related documents and agreements.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Choleric with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution, as well as the following one, would authorize the refunding of two sets of bonds that were issued in 2010 that were recovery zone economic development bonds. The total principal amount of the two issuances is about $10 million. Based on the current interest rate environment, we're looking at potential savings of almost 20% on a net present value basis, or almost $2 million for the refunding. We're also looking at partially cash defeasing a portion of the bonds that are related to our sanitary engineering department. Pending any questions, would ask your approval of this resolution.
So who's the underwriter?
There would not be an underwriter. Based on the size of the deal, we'd be looking at doing quotes for a direct bank placement.
Placement, okay. All right. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 769-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce. Yes. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 769-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 770-19, resolution authorizing the redemption of outstanding bonds and authorizing related documents and agreements, if any.
This is similar to the last resolution, so if there's no other questions, ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 770-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 770-19 has been adopted.
All right. Do you have any journalizations?
Yes, Commissioner, 2. On October 4th, 2019, notice was sent to Franklin County Recorder Daniel J. O'Connor Jr. updating the named appointments to the Franklin County Microfilming Board pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 307.80. Commissioner O'Grady named Dean Hennenling, Clerk to the Board of Commissioners, to serve as his designee as the Franklin County Microfilming Board. Victoria Caldwell was named to serve as the alternate designee. Number 2, case number ANX-23-19, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-23-19, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on October 15th, 2019. The petition is requesting to annex 13.8 plus or minus acres from Hamilton Township to the village of Obetz. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on November 19th, 2019. The sites include 2611 Bixby Road, PID number 150-000798, 5200 Alum Creek Drive, PID number 150-000808, 5222 Alum Creek Drive, PID number 150-00068, 5240 Alum Creek Drive, PID number 150-0000371, 3150 Toy Road, PID number 150-0000816, 3160 Toy Road, PID number 150-002417, and 3180 Toy Road, PID number 150-000797.
All right. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.